Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Na karibuni. It's been a while since we did something, and it's a Friday where I felt tujaribu tuongeleshane, tujaribu kufunzana, we try and also educate each other a bit. Today I'm focusing on history. Now, in history, we've had civilizations and we've had ages. And with every civilization or with every age that has come to pass, there has been repercussions, or there has been a serious change in terms of a major event happening, then we move from it. I think historians would understand, and those who are not even historians, it's an easy thing, we can just flow with it. The first civilization, which we refer to as the Dark Age. This is an era where human beings were mostly carnivorous. We were eating each other. There was no fire. There was no anything. And it was characterized by a lot of fights, a lot of killings, no communications. And let me say it just as dark. As the word dark sounds, it was a dark age. Now, you move through, you come to the Agrarian Revolution, that is, the advent or the coming up of agriculture, where now man mechanized agriculture so that he moved from small-scale farming to large-scale farming. Now, each of these civilization had its winners and it had its losers. For example, when you moved from small-scale, there are people who became obsolete. When we mechanized agriculture, there are people who became better. Then we come through all through to the, it's not an age per se, but I'll say the advent of computer technology, the technological era that now we are living in. So the technological era came and now used the banking industry in Kenya in the early 1990s, because a lot of people lost jobs, because that was the time when people moved from manual records to digital records in financial sector. That is, the computer now became a forefront thing that we see up to date now in our banking halls. When you walk in, you don't need to walk with a paper, then somebody has to go check for your file. Now, this brings me closer to the point that I want to drive, because technology has evolved, and within the technological era, there's a civilization which I'm actually now calling it for what it is, and I hope I don't get into trouble for stating that age, because I've been very silent and I've seen it coming to pass more and more and more. And historians and people who believe in studies can actually come and maybe challenge me. Like, I'm actually free and open to be challenged. But I feel I'll call it more or less the social media age, because more and more social media is becoming, not becoming, it is currently the most powerful tool that people are using. However, people haven't learned the effect and the impact that social media has on society, because a lot of us are still getting conversant with it. But while we are getting conversant with it, it's time we also noted that the social media era is also already sweeping its culprits, if I may call them that. Because you realize that nowadays, things happen on social media, they get arrested on social media, they get tried on social media, and they get sentenced on social media. So that by the time this event or this person is actually seeking ratifications or ramifications outside social media, you do not have the ability or the capacity to do it, because people have already judged you. People have already judged you. Either you are a killer, either you are a cheater, either you are, without even understanding what has happened to you. And I feel that this is a call. I know it's more me or less me just talking, which I said, let me start off, because starting off after stopping for a while is a bit difficult. But I believe that we need, as a society, to start understanding the consequences of the era that we are living in. The other day, we actually saw Charlie Kirk. I think it's a day ago. He was actually murdered. We already see the culprits have already been arrested on social media platforms. People are already saying, we know this is the person, we know this is the person. We already see on social media, people are celebrating, others are mourning. I'm not so much into that debate, because it's a loss of life. And like with every loss of life, I'm not going to justify it or condemn it. I do believe that the family deserves the right to mourn. But let's be prudent on how we explore the era that we are currently in. Comments and views, I'm waiting for them.